Hello, I'm Jonathan Murray, Creative Director of Yunoia, here to take you through the prototype build of our game. So far, as it currently remains, we have completed some of our core mechanics, the first of these being our blue ability, which is a grapple that the player will be able to use to traverse the environment. The grapple currently works by shooting out the line that can attach to anchor points in the environment. Not all surfaces can anchor though. These current anchor points are represented by the blue spheres. By gaining some depth, one may be able to attach themselves to the sphere, and by moving forward can give themselves the velocity that they need to hook up onto an object. So we will use the ability to get over this first platform. By falling off this platform, we can see that by maintaining distance, we can use control to stay on the ground to make sure that we can get the distance that we want and then bring ourselves to where we want to go. We can also use the control for making sure that we can maintain our radial movement to allow us to slingshot and swing ourselves across large gaps, especially ones such as these. I've hit it a few times already, but we can also use space to cancel our current grapple beam so that we can fall to the ground or gain the velocity that we need and then make sure that we do not get slung backwards to the anchor point that we have forgotten to let go of. And I can use these to get to the end. Next up, we have our second central mechanic for the game, our pulse ability. While currently the particle effects remain outside of our prototype, we can see the effects through the minion AI that is represented by these red balls that are coming to hug the player. However, the more that do end up touching us, the slower we end up going. The pulse ability can knock these away, but at the same time, the pulse ability can also open up new paths in the environment, being used to eliminate obstacles or break through some rubble in the terrain. So you can see just how slow these can make us go. Very important for time trial areas, where we have to get to somewhere in a limited amount of time. But by using our pulse ability, we can rebuff them and clear the walls to get to the end of this level. Here we have our third ability, our second unique mechanic, the first of these being our initial grapple. This one is an echo mechanic, allowing us to spawn a clone, a duplicate of our main character, to allow us to complete puzzles that require simultaneous action or otherwise simultaneous traversal through an area. One such example of this is by setting my main character on a pressure point here, and using the echo ability, I can send the echo through a gap that is now opened thanks to my main character's actions, and blast through this door with the red ability, as our clone can use the same abilities as the player to get to the next button, using our controls to swap between them to allow us to get through the new path that has been uncovered. We also have our empowered version of Pulse, as each of our abilities will eventually have a secondary form that is attained through gameplay of the story. This one, though without a current signifier, allows one to hold the Q button to release a larger pulse effect, being able to knock the minions away further and with more number, as well as being able to eliminate larger obstacles in the environment. They really make me slow. But I can get to this wall, hold Q, and all of those can go away. I can dodge the last few through some platforming, and get to the end. So we have our last level here that shows off some of our mechanics that are still underway, but will be showing up in our central games for the upcoming vertical slice. Here, we can see that the faceless people, represented by this black cylinder here, is attracted to the clone, and will chase the clone, eventually dealing damage to it, but will leave our non-crystal version of the main character alone. So as you can see, the faceless person will attract and will begin dealing damage. We can also despawn the clone with G. Some areas of the environment will require usage of the 2.5D playspace to find new pathways to get to areas that you need to access in order to further your progression through the game. One of these is panels such as this located in the back of the environment that can be broken, allowing one to get to new areas not previously accessible. Walls such as these are impassable for our main character, but represent the second version of our green ability, allowing our crystal version of the main character to get to places the main character cannot go, bypassing the areas due to their crystal makeup. This allows the clone to be able to stand on a pressure plate for our main character to access this pad, which is previously inset into the wall. We can then have our main character reach the end, which will restart our prototype. And playing through all of this is just a sample of some of our audio tracks made by our music designers for our upcoming game. So with that, encapsulating everything that has been completed for this prototype, we have the muted version of our grapple, pulse, and clone, as well as the restored versions for our pulse and clone. We have the minions and the way they function, as well as the faceless people. We have examples of triggers for doors, forced interactions shown through pressure plates, as well as scene changes, and gameplay hints through the text that is behind me in the prototype to help tutorialize how one who is unfamiliar with the mechanics of the game can come to understand them. And with a simple press of escape, this prototype will end. Thank you for watching.